Hey everyone, Duke Nukem 3D here with another video from my collection. And today, I know I've made a million videos on this mask already, but just as a final summary, the culmination of my progress on repairing this Shigematsu TS Super Wide Vision mask, which I unfortunately still do not know the numeric designation of. If you want to know more history about this particular example, of which there is none pretty much, I guess just check out previous videos that I have relating to this mask, but as some of you may have seen, I've been doing various repairs to this mask to try and get it into a very good displayable state. And so far, I feel like I've achieved that point. And the configuration you see currently may or may not entirely be correct. I do believe this would have been the original configuration. The hose you see on it is not original to this mask. This is off of my other Shigematsu TS GM56N mask, so it will not be staying in this configuration. It'll have the hose detached and just put off to the side for preservation purposes because the hose is honestly in terrible condition. I do not know what type of carrier or filter it would have used either, however I do believe these two would also be accurate. So again, I don't really know when these were created. I assume sometime in the 60s, if not the 70s or 80s. More than likely in the late 60s, early 70s. I think I said like late 70s or early 70s in my original review of this, but I could be very well wrong. Again, I really don't know when. I don't really have a timeline of these masks being made. In fact, Shigematsu seems to go back like they were founded in 1917 and seem to have been producing masks since then. So they certainly have a long history with making respirators, but unfortunately, there's not enough of a timeline out there for their products. So, anyways, aside from that. The main thing I did to this particular example, other than cleaning it up with silicone oil, food grade silicone oil, I love that stuff, I can't recommend it enough. You can see right here where I made a repair to the harness tab. I've shown you if you've watched the update on the harness tab repair, I mentioned doing the outside, and I also mentioned putting a patch on the inside, which is actually what I've gone and done yesterday. So that's all done now. This thing is rock solid. It's not going to come off unless you're forcing it to tear. So yeah, this thing's going to be displayable for a very long time like this. Of course, this doesn't look the prettiest, but it's displayable. The mask is still covered in dry rot. There's nothing I can do about that. But functionally, everything is intact. The harness is probably like the worst conditioned part on the mask itself. I will go ahead and remove the hose from the canister here, or at least try to, very carefully. Honestly, I shouldn't have even put it on the filter. Or at least I should have oiled it before doing so. There we go. So I will take the mask off the head here, which is fairly simple since I did not tighten down the harness due to its poor condition. And looking inside here, if I don't bump the camera first, you can see the patch that I applied to the back of the harness tab with more Aqua Seal thinned in isopropyl alcohol, and that seems to be holding very well. You can also see Shigematsu Works Co. Limited stamped on the back of the harness with a STS logo, if you can read that. There's also a manufacturer's roundel clock right there. I see a 9 and an 8, but they're separate. I don't know what year this particular example was made. There is another one of these roundels inside the facepiece that seems to indicate that this particular example was made in 1990. However, I am not entirely sure because I'm not certain if these are running off of the Imperial Japanese sort of emperor dating system, like how you have Showa 47 is the date on my my Senko Type 1 JDSF mask. So yeah, it could use the Imperial calendar. It could use a standard dating system. I really don't know at this point. But anyhow, yeah, this is a fairly recent mask, at least produced. So anyways, yeah, this is probably my favorite of all the Shigematsu variants due to just being a cut and paste copy of an MSA Clearview. I've never actually held an MSA Clearview before. And if they're anything like this, I absolutely love them now because I don't know why. I just love everything about the design to me. And Another thing that's interesting is just the protected outlet valve cover. I'm not sure why it's like this, but it's kind of interesting because, again, it kind of reminds me of like it being designed for like a rocket refueling setup or something. I honestly doubt that's what it's for, but it kind of reminds me of something like that. The Ornazal cup, I'll try and demonstrate this on camera, is actually removable. I just bumped the camera there. There is a plastic, I probably won't be able to put it back in for the video, but I'll try and remove it the best of my ability here. But yeah, the Ornazal cup is entirely removable. Not going to wrestle with the thing. There we go. It's starting to come out now. Just give me a moment here, folks. So yeah, the Ornazal cup completely comes out. As you can see, there's a plastic ferrule assembly that sort of locks onto the outlet valve. And you can see the internals there, and you can see the deep cutouts they molded into the design to accommodate the very beefy TISO deflectors inside the mask. If you could sort of see those. I think it's too dark to really see them, but they're there. So that's pretty much that. So again, this is probably like the last video I'll be making on this mask because I've made like at least 3 others in the past recently. So anyways, I'll try to get some more different videos out pretty soon. So if you enjoyed, hope you did. Be sure to leave any comments, questions, corrections, or concerns down in the comments below, and I'll see you all later.